Now look, far from being for me being over dramatic about Bitcoin, I would never.
Like, it's amazing to me what people really think is going on in my mind versus what is really happening.
Forgot to buy toilet paper.
Let's look at the 4 reasons why Bitcoin will hit 22K next. Philip Swift, a Bitcoin analyst and the creator of lookintobitcoin.com, laid out 4 reasons why Bitcoin is headed to $22,000. Both fundamental and technical factors indicate the top cryptocurrency momentum is strengthening. The 1-year old percentage, decline of Bitcoin exchange reserve, natural funding rate, institutional accumulation point toward a prolonged BTC rally, Swift wrote. 1-year hold still really high. Yep. Bitcoin is being rushed off. Yep. Funding still neutral. Yep. Institutional still buying. Yep. Cool. See you at 20K in a few weeks when the price reached the 350 DMA time 2 of the Golden Ratio Multiplier. Since the start of the 4th quarter on October 1st, the price of Bitcoin rose from $10,773 to $16,730. Number 1. The Bitcoin space referred to a long-term BTC hold as HODLers. The 1-year HODLers wave showed the growth in the number of investors holding Bitcoin for over a year.
No, this is impossible.
Since the March crash, the 1-year wave rose from 59% to over 62%. It is now in an all-time high, signifying a clear accumulation trend. Number 2. Funding rates are neutral. During the bull cycle, the funding rate of Bitcoin can significantly spike as long as the holder or buyer overwhelm short sellers. The Bitcoin future market uses the funding rate mechanism to ensure balance in the market. If there are more longs than shorts, the funding rate becomes positive. If so, the buyer have to constipate short sellers and vice versa. The average funding rate of Bitcoin perpetual future contract is about around 0.01% throughout the past several months. The funding rate has remained at around 0.01% or sometime below it. This shows that there is a decent balance between buyers and sellers, and the market is not overheated as of yet. Number 3. Bitcoin reserves are dropping. As Cointelegraph reported yesterday, around 150,000 Bitcoin has moved out of the exchange throughout the past month. The 2.3 billion monthly Bitcoin exchange outflow suggests that the intent of investors to hold on their Bitcoin holding throughout the long term. Investors have deposited BTC in an exchange in order to sell their holding. Hence, when outflow increase, it typically indicates that the investor plans to hold Bitcoin for prolonged periods.
Guy's so rich, he has a swimming pool in his swimming pool.
This guy's got shoes.
And last but not least, institutional accumulation is growing. In the United States, Grayscale remains the preferable point of entry for institutional investors into Bitcoin. Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is the closest investment vehicle to an exchange trade fund, as it is publicly traded in the US. According to Grayscale, the firm now holds more than 50,000 Bitcoin, which at the price of $16,700 is worth over $8.35 billion. Institutions have continued to accumulate Bitcoin as it posts a strong recovery since early 2020. The resilience of BTC, particularly as it's consistently outperformed gold and has made the store value proposition more compelling to institutional throughout the year.
Bitcoin, please go to moon. Stop going sideways now. Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have bottom it out, Novogratz is bullish. Bottom it out, don't ever rise is bearish. Novogratz is bullish. Let us go to moon.
Let's go into that story. Bitcoin will hit $65,000 to a combination of low supply and a tons of new buyers, major investor Mike Nukrovat said. In an increased popular Twitter debate on November 17, Nukrovat, who is well known for his prominent Bitcoin plugs, told actress Macy's Williams not to hesitate into buying the cryptocurrency. Nukrovat on Bitcoin network effect has taken over. Williams had released a poll asking Twitter followers whether or not she should invest in BTC. At press time, the verdict was split, with a 47% of roughly 750,000 responding to supporting the investment. And a poll soon caught the attention of the famous Twitter, among them Tesla CEO Elon Musk. I bought more BTC last night at $15,800 and it's going to 20K and then 65K, Nukrovat commented. The network effect has taken over. I see tons of new buyers and there is very little supply. It's easier to trade here than at 11K, so yes, buy it. William did not disclose what made her son Lee consider Bitcoin, with the publicity coming on the back of the near 50% monthly gain for BTC. At press time, the pair cycle at $16,700. On a tweet, Maisie Williams said, "Should I go long on Bitcoin?" 47.2% say yes. 52.8% say no. A low-key bull run. Other respondents include podcast host Stephen Livera, Blackstream Chief Security Officer Samson Moe, and Barry Silbert, CEO of investment fund giant Digital Currency Group. Silbert, asset manager. Grayscale is responsible for buying up increasing large amount of Bitcoin supply, with its holding past $500,000 Bitcoin, $8.37 billion this week. Cointelegraph reported, Bitcoin recent rise has been noticeable for a lack of associate media attention it had received. Despite being at the level not enjoyed by the token longer than 2 weeks in its history, Bitcoin has not yet sparked the same frenzy of publicity that accomplished its rise $20,000 all-time high in 2017.